What's up, guys? I'm getting back into that streaming thing here with the new year, making it my resolution to get a consistent schedule going. If you'd like to stop by at any point and maybe check out when we're live, probably even now actually, or any future streams, links in the description below. Anyways, on to the regular schedule content. Like we've said recently, communication is a valuable thing in any aspect of life, really, but when we're talking about gaming and Call of Duty, I'm sure that you're like me, where I value and appreciate the heads up on stuff that's happening, what's in the works, and what's coming up. Now, as of recent times, that transparency has kind of been slim, but we've learned a little bit about what's going on from the actual Infinity Ward Twitter account and as well from Joel Emsley, the studio art director at Infinity Ward, as of recent days. And today I want to recount the information that we've recently been given and let you know so that you're in the loop as well. Today, we're going to be breaking down the future return of gunfight tournaments, the problematic player collision bug and a fix that may be coming with that, and as well the fate of the update or patch that was initially slated for this week. What's up with that? Is it still likely to come, like previously mentioned by Joe Seacott? So that said, let's talk about it, and as we go along, let me know your thoughts for, I guess what we can call the question of the day. Are you fond of the 2v2 tournament system that was added, and what would be your ideal reward for those that win the bracket of 16 play? As well, if you are new to the channel, maybe considering that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare on a daily basis. But anyways, let's begin. Personally, I want to start with the topic of gunfight tournaments. So for those of you who missed them, gunfight tournaments were introduced at the end of November for a week-long period, if I remember correctly, in which it was bracket-style single elimination matches for gunfight. You had 16 teams total that would queue up, whittling down to the final two, where you'd play theoretically increasing in skilled players, but also looking for those rewards with each progression through the ranks of said tournament. To which you ended up getting your normal XP as you would with regular matches. You didn't lose anything by going out of your way to do a tournament. It was like you were just playing a regular multiplayer match of gunfight. You got that XP, but the nice part is that if you made it all the way and went the distance, you actually got some extra rewards, progressing with each round giving a little bit more than the last. Not entirely sure the exact denominations of which one it was. I know that the tournament that I played, Immortal and I went the distance the first attempt that we had, so we got all the rewards in one fell swoop, which resulted in us getting the Not in the Face calling card, 500 XP, the Knuckle Up weapon charm, 1000 XP, the Old Friends calling card, 2000 XP, and then finally the winning denomination was 5000 XP, plus the actual nice part, the coup de grace that is actually worthwhile and can be used more than once, the Royal Decree 50 GS variant. So the Deagle variation that you'll sometimes see me swap to in videos, it's pretty rare because you had to win and get it, and it was only available for a week's time. It has really no prospect of coming back at any time soon that we've seen thus far. There's no hints saying that it'll be available in the shop or that it'll be available in the gunfight tournaments in the future, nothing like that. It was exclusive to that single first tournament bracket. Now, I was admittedly insanely happy for this to be coming to the game because we played this for the exact format and the exact system all the way back in May when myself and some YouTubers and general press like IGN, Kotaku, and the likes went out to Infinity Ward for a behind closed door pre-reveal event that gave us some information on the campaign, the direction they were going narratively, and so on with the project. Now, what we couldn't say at that time was that we did play MP because we were under heavy NDA until the reveal, but the cool part was that we actually got to test out this tournament style bracket. So it's been something that Infinity Ward has been wanting to share for quite some time, and I'm glad they finally were able to, but we haven't seen it since. And from what I saw throughout the community, after that week that it was out there and then completely disappeared, players really wanted to jump back in on it, get rare rewards, and battle it out for the supreme bragging rights. The system was first in place within what they dubbed the beta, so what we may see in the future here and coming up at some point is the introduction of maybe the full-fledged system, whether that be something that's static and stays there for the entire duration of Modern Warfare's life, or if it's an LTM that comes around maybe once a month. We don't exactly know, but the official Infinity Ward Twitter account actually tweeted when asked about their return, saying they'll be back, we're fixing a few bugs here and there along with working on adding some new rewards. Normally, when an official account tweets about it, it is closer to completion. Otherwise, it'd be either discussed by a lesser followed or more conversational approach like a developer tweeting or communicating it, to which I actually think that Joel did as well beforehand, but otherwise, if it wasn't close to completion, they just wouldn't mention it at all. So if I were to guess, we'd see this before Season 1 ends, but as for the next update, we just don't have any hard evidence. I'm all for that though. I'm entirely down to battle it out for rare weapon blueprints and other things alike, especially sooner rather than later, but that said, we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, what we've got next is that pesky player collision. I'm not sure if you've been affected by this as much as I have, but my word, it's one of the most irritating things ever. For perspective, before update 1.12, players had 0 player collision. To my knowledge, I think you could actually jump right into somebody and forget exactly, but I'm pretty sure right through them even. And surely it's not entirely realistic, but as of the most recent update, that being 1.12, that can actually do damage to you as a player if you jump into a teammate. Let's say you're standing on a ledge of some sort. For extreme example, the skyscrapers of Tovorsk District's ground war map. That's an 18-story drop or something like that if you were to, I don't know, say get bumped off, which is exactly what can happen if a teammate decides to jump into you. Now, that's an extreme example and may not be as standard as, say, simply being blocked by a teammate or getting slightly knocked off course, but from such a rudimentary level of movement, when it is such a different course of what we had seen previously, it's a noticeable change and one that, though could be small, is incredibly irritating. Players have wanted to see this reverted since the update, and there's been a little discussion between studio and community, but not a whole ton until recently. On a thread on Reddit, Joel Emsley was discussing a wide variety of topics, talking firstly about weapon design and how there could be some minor adjustments made to weapons visually, but the conversation then shifted to player collision when another user, Fluffy Bomb, asked, "Unrelated, but are you going to revert the player collision changes?" To which Joel replied, "We are definitely looking into it. I'm not sure if the fixes in flight are still being worked on." Now, perhaps I'm reading too far into it, but when reading this, it seems as if there's a number of things here that we can take away. 1, they're aware of the issue and it's been pinpointed. 2, it's being worked on. 3, it could be coming very soon. And 4, it's a fix. Not necessarily a revert like specifically asked, meaning that there may have been some intentional change to collision, just not to the extent that it's at right now. Now, number 1 through 3 are absolutely fantastic. I'm happy that it's an issue that we're aware of. I'm happy it's being worked on, it's been pinpointed, and it's got a fix coming, one would guess relatively soon. I see those as absolute positives, and one could hope that we see it in the next update, which we'll talk about that fate here in just a second. But the 4th point is probably most conspiratorial, but without an explicit noting of revert, a fix could have that voice in the back of my head, like really, really deep in the back of my mind, thinking the worst possible outcomes, saying, dude, what if that was partially intended? What if they did want to add a player collision, just not to the extent that it's at now? Now, until there's more clarity, I'm not going to really entertain that notion because we simply don't know, and it's a really, really conspiratorial look into some trivial wording, but we'll end up seeing. Hopefully it is a fix, though, coming sooner rather than later, because I'm tired of that pesky team collision. But that said, as far as when this could happen, if it is in that next update, when would that be? The update that we were hoping to see a plethora of changes coming to the things like officer challenges, player collision, under the map exploits, and much, much more like we've discussed here on the channel in the past. Earlier this week on Sunday, Joe Secott tweeted saying that a big update was on the way for this week, though no stated time was ever given. That left us with obviously a wide number of days that we could potentially see it coming, but that said, it never came on Tuesday, which is Tuesday normally being the standard update for Call of Duty in recent years. It didn't come yesterday, it hasn't come today, so the big question comes down to, well, when? Friday was a prominent day for updates at the start of the year for Modern Warfare, but one thing that has me a little worried about that idea, and if it'll even happen at all this week, is that a few hours ago, Joel Emsley was in the same space replying to Reddit threads, to which someone asked if there was an ETA on the update coming this week, to which Joel simply said, "No, sorry." So now that it's the latter half of the week here with no real update truly scheduled, how likely is it to come this week? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Content additions possibly coming aside, I just want to see it come as soon as possible so I can stop dying to people under the map in barriers that aren't penetrable and that teammates can stop jumping into me and knocking me 5 feet the other way. And I'm sure that you have your own number of reasons as to what you want to see in terms of adjustments in this update coming up. But for now, the question still remains that million-dollar question of when will it come? I just personally hope that it is something that does actually come this week because, truth be told, I absolutely hate whenever things don't turn out as they're supposed to, and then here I am having given you guys false information. That's like my biggest fear here as a content creator, talking about current events and giving you guys these predictions of when you should be able to see them. When we have things laid out from official context and then it never actually happens, me kind of just passing that information along, I get caught with my pants down, and it's a weird, awkward situation where I don't know what to tell you. So for that reason, I'm hoping again it comes this week because we already talked about it probably coming this week, so kind of have a little bit more skin in that game, but we'll end up seeing what happens here with this. Maybe we end up seeing an update on the weekend, which is something that we haven't seen for quite some time, or maybe it is something that is just held until Tuesday and kind of throws everything out of sync here from what we've seen prediction-wise so far, but I guess only time will tell. That said, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Wanted to keep you guys in the loop here with the most up-to-date topics of discussion and what you can expect here as we learn about it. So that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is there anything in particular you guys are looking forward to here out of this, whether that be if you think the update will be coming and what you want to see out of said update this week? If it is something you want to talk about, the gunfight tournaments, let me know in the comments below. But hopefully enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare, updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. We got you covered here on the channel. So if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to keep connecting outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below as well. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Modest Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.